to remind you that Ghana make hard, so everybody wants value for their hard-earned money. Yusuf, you know. And so when it comes to tomato mix, value for money means three things. One, consistent and rich red color that doesn't color your meat or fish. Number two, thick paste that gives you your desired quantity of soup or stew. And number three, good tomato flavor that gives that consistent and unique taste to all your dishes. You can rely on Tasty Tom and rich tomato mix for all these. That is why we say wear your tomato mix. No color changing like traffic lights. Taste no so day on point pa. And because Tasty Tom is thick, ofakakra na ye bebre. Eke hunu bieni. Don't compromise on quality. Top up no at once. Choose Tasty Tom and rich tomato mix and get value for money. Tasty Tom and rich tomato mix. Ofakakra na ayedien bebre. And just like that, we have kicked off with Drive Chat right here on Drive Time on Joy 99.7 FM. Our Drive Doctor is on the phone, and like I said, today we're discussing our health plan for 2024. Let's have a conversation with Dr. Yao Osafo. Dr. Osafo.
Kofi Hayford.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
I think it's near down to Nkwem.
Yes. I think to say that we are all very healthy.
I it's not like I don't know how to say it in English, but I hardly hear people say "afisa say near Tinkwem" in English.
Oh, they're happy, many happy returns. So.
Oh, are you sure? Many happy returns there. It doesn't equal "afisa say near Tinkwem." Doc, today I will try you. "Afisa say near Tinkwem." How do we say it in English?
Kofi, this is not an English class. You talk to with someone, and then could you in the morning say it right? They will tell us tomorrow morning. Good afternoon to all our listeners.
Good afternoon. Yes.
It's good to be back again.
That's right.
Yes, we took a bit of a break. The Drive Doctor had to go and recharge his batteries, but yes, right. He's back.
That's right.
And we're going to start off today with a health plan. For 2024. That's how I decided that we should start our year. And Kofi, before we do that, let me wish all my clients, all my patients, those who obtain Medical's Hospital as their primary service, health service provider, a happy new year. And thank you for giving us the opportunity to serve you in 2023. So, Kofi, there are two special people I also want to say a happy new year to. First person is Professor Godfrey Mutu of the University of Ghana Business School. He's one of the best lecturers I know, and happy new year to him. And the other is a lawyer friend of mine. He's been dodging me, so I'm using this video to reach out to him. There are a lot of good friends who listen to this video. So they will let him know that I'm greeting him. Lawyer Nathaniel Hebo of Zoe Lexfield Law Firm, Kokumlimli, Apishapa. Just giving him Apishapa. Right. So let's get into it.
Alrighty.
Kofi, a lot of people, a lot of businesses in particular, big businesses, small businesses, I know have drawn up plans to make 2024 a very profitable year.
Right.
It is good to plan for your business. However, it's even better to plan for your health. Sadly, most of us, and I am equally guilty. You may think I'm a doctor, but I am guilty. Most of us do not apply the same good principle of business planning when it comes to our health. Because of this admission and recognition, I decided that today I'm going to assist all our listeners to draw up their own health plan for 2024. Well, let me put you on the spot.
Okay.
What is a plan? What's your general understanding of a plan?
A plan. I mean, like
yes.
When you like a detailed, I was about to say a detailed plan, but but like
they say you can't use the word
exactly. So like a detailed proposal, that you put together to achieve something. It could be anything. Yeah.
Right. Good. I will accept that. That's a very, very, very basic definition of a plan. So it's a detailed proposal to achieve something in the future. So it's for a future period.
Right.
You do not plan for the present. Sadly, we started 2024 already, but we are still in the first month. We've got 11 more months. So we can plan for the 11 months in respect of our health. The plan will say who, it will say what, it will say when, it will say which, it will say also how. So a plan addresses all of these things. And that's why I agree with your definition that it's a detailed proposal because it touches on all of these things. So when we talk about a health plan, we're going to answer all these questions: what, how, who, when, in respect of our health. I also want to start with a definition of health, and I will go back to 1948. That's when the World Health Assembly gave us a definition of health, and I quote: a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So sometimes we think, if we are not sick, then we are healthy. Kofi, is not necessarily true. And again, when we talk about health, there are three main components: physical health, mental health, and social health. More often than not, the focus is only on physical health.
Yeah.
Well, it's easy. We are able to relate to that because we can see something through a physical examination. We can point to a laboratory test and say, my glucose is 15 or 20. We can point to a scan or an X-ray examination of a part of the body that says A or B. So physical health is easy always, but then there are two other components that we tend to ignore. And in drawing up the framework, I'm going to touch on all three areas. So Kofi, let's start with the first component of your health plan: mental health. And thinking about 2024, in terms of what you are going to do to promote health, to prevent a disease, and to cure disease if they happen, I want us to look at the first area of mental health. Kofi, the reality is that 1 in 4 of us will experience some form of mental health challenge in our lifetime. 1 in 4. Yes, you heard me right. It is 1 in 4.
Wow.
Please, and when we talk about mental health, we are not talking about sleeping naked and walking around town. No. There are different categories of mental health disorders, and I'll share a few. We have the first category we call mood disorders. When we talk about mood, we're talking about things like pressure, anxiety. These are examples of mood disorder, and I think a lot of people know. Today we're not going to go into a lot of these, but people know a bit about depression and also know a bit about anxiety. Another category of mental health disorders are sleep disorders. If I come across a lot of people who to come and tell me, doctor, and say me to meet that crowd. The doctor and say me to meet that crowd. And they brush it aside. They don't want us to take it seriously, but they're telling you about it.
Yeah.
So sleep disorders are a category of mental health problems. We also have personality disorders. Then you have the addictive disorders. We also have feeding and eating disorders. Yes, people have challenges with eating. Some people overeat. Some people too do not eat well at all because they are afraid that they will put on too much weight. And then the last category I want to talk about is the trauma and stressor-related disorders. Kofi, you the superstar. You, AFJ, Lexis, Bill, and all this. A lot of people suffer what they call burnout. High pressure work. But you man, pressure go. So, Kofi, I was chilling on December 26th in the park. You people were working.
It's true.
Oh. you were busily serving me.
Yeah, I know.
I put up my feet. I was relaxing with the family and friends, and all of you were so hard at work. Legs, and them night, Philip. Nah, you guys worked throughout the holiday period,
Right.
and we got to put our feet up. The Black Stars are playing right now. I know they put that there's lots of pressure.
That's right.
Well, we need next match. Yeah,
I tell you.
A Lugo border. That's where we go wait for it. He also knows that. So these are all people in high pressure jobs, and there's a tendency for them to experience what we call pressure-related disorders. Right. So this is just a bird's eye view of the mental health challenges. Because of the preponderance of these events, I always say that please have a chat with your family physician, a clinical psychologist, or a psychiatrist to do an assessment and an evaluation of your mental health status. You may think you are fine. That's what you think. It's very difficult to evaluate mental health status. So get a professional opinion by talking to your family, or if possible, a clinical psychologist or a psychiatrist. Do that for you. Here at Medical Hospital, we have a very, very professional mental health unit. Please, you are not mad, but these examples that I've given are just few instances of mental health challenges.
Right.
Once we do the evaluation, we are able then to identify risk to your mental health, assess the severity of the risk, and also then put in place remedial measures so that you plan for the year. If your stresses are high, we'll let you know about coping mechanisms for February, for March. Somebody says, telling my job is June that I know that the pressure will be high. Then we know the coping mechanisms that you can put in place to handle it. So that is the first area of mental health. Now let me touch on the physical health aspect, which is what we are very familiar with. I was listening to what people had sent in about their health plan. So if you all it was in the area of physical health.
Yeah.
Yes, all of it was in the area of physical health. So let me touch on a few things. For children under 5, and here I've looked at the things you should consider based on your age or the age category that you fall in. The first category is the children under 5. If you're a parent, you're listening to me right now, you're a guardian listening to me right now, and you have a child under 5 years, these are just the two steps I want you to focus on as you develop your plan. Nutritional challenge. When you are feeding children in this age group, you have to be very, very, very particular. They will give you challenges because they won't eat that. They prefer the sweet or the sugar-containing things and so on and so forth. But this is the time where the developing brain, for example, needs a lot of iron. So you have to make sure you are very, very particular about what you are feeding the children in this age group. The second thing I want you to take note of in your health plan for the children under 5 is growth monitoring. Kofi, the physical growth is what we are interested in most of the time.
Right.
But a lot of us, when we finish with the weighing, as we call it in Ghana, professionally we call it a child welfare clinic, but we call it weighing in Ghana. When they go for the 18-month weighing, then that's it, because they get their last vaccination, and most people don't show up again. But that weighing card should take you all the way to 85, because we want to track head circumference, we want to track mid-arm circumference, we want to track weight, we want to track height, all the way to 5 years. But I can tell you, and if you talk to my wife, she will admit that you die after 2 years. So I know that we are not doing well in that area, but I will feed everybody. That is why that booklet that all parents have, it goes all the way to 5 years. We need to be able to track not only their physical development, but also things like speech development, speech milestones. When a child is 3 years, there are things you should be able to do per day. For example. So growth monitoring is very, very important. Put that in your plan if you have a child under 5. Children in the school going age, I want you to focus on their dental health. You see, the milk teeth, the baby ones, they will fall out starting age 6.
Right.
Fall out all the way to about 12 years. But when they fall out, then you are forming the permanent teeth. So if at that age, you don't pay particular attention to their dental health and they develop the caries.
That's true.
So from that age group, you have to be very, very cautious about their dental health. So put that in your plan. We say every 6 months, pay a visit to the dentist. Please don't wait till the caries develop, you have a swollen jaw, you can't chew, that's why you're bringing a child. So please, just pay a first visit in February. The dentist will develop a care plan for you, and then you follow that care plan. Right. Again, what you feed them on is also very, very important. It will affect their oral health. So let's pay attention to that. Infection prevention, particularly in girls in this age group. What do I mean? We teach the girls how to wipe, especially after they use the toilet. You have to teach them to wipe from front to back and not from back to front. This will help them prevent a lot of vaginal infections in that age group. So we need to be able to pay a visit to the hospital. The doctors, the family doctor or nurse will assist you to know what we mean by wiping from front to back and not from back to front. Puberty is the next age group. And in this age group, your health plan should focus on weight, obesity, personal hygiene care. Coefficient, this is where it starts. In the better age group. The Pittinger, Philomena, Pittinger. The secondary sexual characteristics include development of pubic hair or growth of pubic hair, growth of hair in the armpit, they sweat, they develop body odor, and so on and so forth. So personal hygiene care to be a real focus, and then also reproductive health counseling. Please, it's difficult for a lot of parents. Look, I have teenage children, 2 of them, 2 boys. It's not even easy for me as a physician to talk to them about reproductive health issues. So I know it is difficult for a lot of parents. They cringe at the mere thought of talking about sex and all those with their children.
Right, they are shy.
But puberty, they are shy. We are all shy. But puberty is that period where they start releasing their sex hormones into their system. So whether you talk about it or not, Kofi, they are feeling it. And if they are feeling it, the tendency that they might act on it is very high.
Right.
So please, let us take them to that counseling. So bring them along. You can't do it. So you bring them along to the wellness clinic at medical hospital. In most places in the Ghana Health Service, there's a wellness clinic. Or you take them to the family physician and say, doctor, they are now pubertal. They started growing hair down there. So talk to them. And then we'll take them through that process. It will help them make very, very important choices with respect to sex and reproduction. Then for young adults, the main areas of focus are physical inactivity, food choices, alcohol use. And when I say young adults, I'm talking about 18 all the way to 40. Yes, 18 all the way to 40. This is the time where could be maybe you get a job, the job starts paying well, you get a car, you start eating certain types of food, you don't exercise anymore, you don't walk anymore, you don't go and play ball with the area boys anymore, but not the big man or big woman. And then the obesity creeps up on you. The physical inactivity creeps up on you. And so on and so forth.
Right.
And then pre-pregnancy counseling. Look, this age bracket, I will be briefed in this age bracket, 18 to 40. But pre-pregnancy counseling is one thing that we don't do in Ghana. Thanks be to God. God has gifted me with a baby. But Kofi, from the health perspective, there might be a lot of challenges with the pregnancy. So we promote that pregnancy should be planned. It should be intentional. you should want to get pregnant, and then you start doing it. So wanting to get pregnant, come and visit us. We have to make sure you, the female, you are in tip-top physical condition. Then you are in the good state of mental health as well. Both parents, the father and then the prospective mother, you are all supposed to be in good mental health to be able to go to the pregnancy and then become new parents. For middle-aged adults, that's where a lot of the stressors come in. So these are 40 to 50-year age group. Regular medical checks for things like diabetes and hypertension. So once every 6 months, you come and see me. Just come and call. These days we have telemedicine, we have Zoom,
right.
phone call. If you can't make it physical, you just call, have that conversation with your family physician. We also will do certain checks for the cancers, breast and cervical cancer for women, and then prostate and liver cancer for men in particular. Then the last age category is the elderly adults. For them, that's a 60 plus. My main focus for your health plan is in the area of early cancer detection. Early cancer detection. For the above mentioned ones, breast and cervical cancer for elderly women, and then prostate and liver cancer for and throat cancers for elderly men. I'm also concerned about their physical inactivity. We tend to think that they are retired, so they shouldn't do sports. They shouldn't come for walk with legs and all, but they are the ones who actually also need this issue. And then I'm also concerned about care issues. They cannot be alone at home. They should not. We don't encourage that. Somebody should be taking care of them, their laundry, cooking, and so on and so. So those are what I call care issues. You have to have a detailed plan about your care issues as an elderly adult. The last component, which I'll touch on briefly because our time is up, is social health. So, if we are done with the physical health, when we talk about social health, we are talking about the health you derive from your connection and community network. If you know human beings an island, we are social beings. You have to be connected to another human being or another group of human beings. You must have a network. And then you must have a sense of community. Social health deals with how individuals get along with others and how individuals interact with social institutions and social norms. If you don't do well in these areas, you are not healthy, despite being physically healthy. So, consider you have it. 3 components of your health plan. It should look and adequately address your mental health. It should look and adequately address your physical health. And it should also address your social health.
Right.
This is what we'll do next week. I know a lot of people have questions.
Yeah.
So I have an assignment for everybody. You're going to work on your health plan, and Kofi, they are going to submit it to us.
Okay.
We will pick 2 individuals who submit their health plan, and then I'll walk through, touch it up, dress it up nicely for them, and then send it back to them.
Okay.
So if you want us to tackle your health plan, no names, just write it out, send it to the
WhatsApp number.
Our WhatsApp line.
Right,
We'll save it for next week, and then we'll field questions from the audience next week, because next week I'll be in studio.
Definitely. All right. Thank you very much, Doc. But like you rightly said, I'm sure some people would want to reach out to you and talk about this further. Can you please put out your contact before you go?
Right. So those who want to reach out to us for us to help them develop their health plan, the number is 0501 477 340. 0501 477 340. And you can follow us up on our social media handles at MedicalsGH on X and on Instagram. Medicals Hospital is our Facebook wall.
All right. Thank you very, very much, Dr. Osafo, for speaking with us. We'll see you next week.